Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Heidi. I'm a blind woman and that's why I'm not looking directly into the camera, but I am right here with you. So today's video I want to be a tribute to my cat Gimli, who died on the 4th of June. And hopefully I can make it through this video. But I thought, let me first do the perfumes, because I honestly don't know how it will affect me talking about it. And plus I know most of you are here for the perfumes. And I mean, it's not Heidi's cat corner. It's Heidi's perfume corner. I want to talk about comforting perfumes. Of course, I did do my monthly trade rotation this month. I did wear those perfumes, but when my cat died, I relied a bit more on other perfumes. Not on all of these, but I thought let me talk about it because perhaps you also need some comfort in whatever shape or form. And I mean, perfume can also provide comfort, right? So I think I've got about 6 to 8 bottles here. I'm going to start with Burberry Goddess. This is a lavender vanilla perfume, and it's that lavender mixed with the vanilla which makes it for me a very comforting scent, because we know it's been proven that lavender has a calming effect. Yeah, in the beginning the lavender is quite loud for me, and then it dries down into this very nice comforting vanilla scent that will last the whole day. It is though not a soft, quickly disappearing scent. It lasts forever. The second one is this one, the very obvious one, Mon Guerlain, which is also in that family of lavender and vanilla. And for me, this is more vanilla. Yeah, you get that lavender, but there's also a lot of vanilla. People have actually told me, oh, do you have a vanilla perfume on? This for me is the ultimate comforting scent that feels like a hug. It calms you down. It's not screechy, it's not loud, but it does last a long time as well. It feels like someone literally envelops you in a hug. The next one for me personally is Flower Bomb by Viktor & Rolf. The reason why this is for me comforting is there's a tea and vanilla. I think there's vanilla in here. It smells like vanilla. There's a tea note in here. And my mom used to tell me when I was very distressed, she used to say, oh, let me make you a cup of sweet tea. I think tea has got such a calming effect, but also just this vanilla sweet, you know. Also when you feel distressed and something sweet, you eat something sweet, it just sometimes helps. The next one is Hypnotic Poison by Christian Dior. This is the EDT. This is a dewy, almondy, vanilla fragrance. For me, this is very comforting. I often wear it to bed. It's sweet, and I think sweet scents for me tend to be very comforting. And this especially also feels like a hug. That almond, I think, in here makes it just so inviting, so relaxing. The next one is Fancy by Jessica Simpson, and this is vanilla and this peach and a lot of fruits on top, but it also dries down to this very sweet caramel. I find that caramel can be very comforting as well, to this caramel sweet fruity vanillic scent. Very, very good. During my cat's, the time when he died, I must say I wore Burberry Goddess a lot, and then I also wore this one, La Vie Belle Intense Mint. This is raspberry and vanilla, and for me, like I told you, often it smells like baby powder and Turkish delight. For me, it's very comforting. It feels a bit bright, a bit musky, but very sweet. That raspberry, that vanilla all work together so nicely to just provide that comforting scent. Do you still get this perfume? I'm not sure, because La Vie Belle tend to discontinue a lot of their fragrances. And then lastly, and this is one I've welcomed back into my collection very recently, but this one is Viva La Juicy Gold Couture from Juicy Couture. This is caramel in a bottle, and perhaps it's just me, but for me, a sweet scent, like I said before, is very comforting. So that caramel, there's berries, but I get thick caramel in here. Yeah, that is very comforting for me. So for me, I think nutty perfumes with a tea accord, perfumes with lavender, and with caramel tend to be quite comforting for me. I'm just gonna close the box. I'm gonna move it onto my bed. Sorry if my bed is not neatly made. My dog and my cats just lied on it. Now I'm gonna talk about my cat. So those of you who are just here for the perfumes, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it, and I hope you also find some of these fragrances comforting, and let me know which one you find comforting. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. I've talked about it before on my channel, but early March, my cat was diagnosed with kidney disease, and it was evident that it was quite severe. He is my darling cat, but I will talk about that in a minute. I will put a photo of him up on the screen when he was about 5-6 months old, but that really just represents our bond. So he was in the hospital for 6 days for fluid treatment, and thereafter I had to give him meds every evening. After his first month checkup, his kidney function improved by almost a double. I was so delighted because all the time I was thinking I'm doing end of life care, and here my cat was actually doing well. I was actually feeling like such a good mom. The vet did tell me when he was discharged the first time that his teeth will have to be removed at some point because they were not good. I don't know if it's also due to the kidney disease or what that was, but they had to be removed. I was so terrified of the anesthetics that I thought, let me just put this off a bit and let's see how it goes. In those 2 months between March and June, I always had a bowl of water for him on my bedside table because I heard that it's so good for their kidneys to stay hydrated. So I gave him, if he stood up, I held out the water and he drank a lot of water. I gave him Hill's KD food for kidney disease. Gave him also the wet food because I heard that's also great for keeping them hydrated, and so on. The week before the 4th of June, I realized something was not right with my cat. He was very lethargic, and I took him to the vet, and they said, look, we're not even going to bother testing his kidneys. We know his kidneys are not great, but his teeth will need to come out. It's very infected. So I said, of course, yes, let's do it. The day after his surgery, he was home, and I saw something was not right. He couldn't walk, basically, and I took him to the vet, and they told me that it seems like he had a stroke, and also that his kidneys was gone. So sorry guys, this is where it becomes difficult. I had to make the difficult decision right there and then, and we put him to sleep. I was stroking him. I had time with him beforehand. I spoke to him, told him how much I loved him. And after he died, I still stroked him. And I just still now torture myself with those last 3 days of his life because it was really hard for him. He was suffering. And I regret that we ever took him for the dental procedure, and I thought if only I did it when his kidneys was great. And then I think, okay, but perhaps then he would have died earlier. And then I think, but if only we tested his kidneys before he went for surgery, because then perhaps we would have known, no, it's not worth it. He's gone basically already. I also want to remind myself of the good times and the fact that I love that cat with all my heart. He was with me for 10 years. Some people will say "Ah, man, it's just a cat." But that was the cat who waited for me when I came home, always. He was sitting at the door. He was the cat who wrapped his tail around my ankles, which I read later means you are part of my family. It's basically a cat hug. He was the cat who slept here in my arm with his head on my shoulder, with my arm wrapped around him. He was one of the entities in this household that turned this house into heaven. And so it is very hard for me at this stage, because also with a cat, it's not like you can call to work and say, "Sorry, my cat died." You can possibly, and I'm sure my line manager would have understood, but you feel sort of guilty because you know, okay, it's not a human being, you know, what will people say? But luckily I've got friends that feel the same about their animals like me and who supported me. My mom, who sent me a parcel, you know, with care goodies. So that, for me, they call the loss of a pet, and when you feel like you're not allowed to grieve, disenfranchised grief, because people don't recognize it the same way as they would recognize, for example, losing a human loved one. So I thought, I just don't know why I felt, I just wanted to share that. Perhaps you also went through something similar. It's hard. It is very hard. And I had a colleague reach out to me who also lost her cat in January. And she actually wrote an article on it. And she also sent me this quote, which I thought I would end off with. It's a long quote, guys, but it's worth it. Okay, I've made it without, well, so far, falling apart. Jim Carrey said, "Grief is not just an emotion. It's an unraveling, a space where something once lived but is now gone. It carves through you, leaving a hollow ache where love once resided." In the beginning, it feels unbearable, like a wound that will never close. But over time, the raw edges begin to mend. The pain softens, but the imprint remains, a quiet reminder of what once was. The truth is, you never truly move on. You move with it. The love you had does not disappear. It transforms. It lingers in the echoes of laughter, in the warmth of old memories, in the silent moments where you still reach for what is no longer there. That is okay. Grief is not a burden to be hidden. It is not a weakness to be ashamed of. It is the deepest proof that love existed, that something beautiful once touched your life. So let yourself feel it. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. There is no timeline, no right way to grieve. Some days will be heavy and some will feel lighter. Some moments will bring unexpected waves of sadness, while some will fill you with gratitude for the love you were lucky enough to experience. Honor your grief, for it is sacred. It is a testament to the depth of your heart, and in time, through the pain, you will find healing, not because you have forgotten, but because you have learned how to carry both love and loss together. Isn't that beautiful? Not because you have forgotten, but because you have learned how to carry both love and loss together. And with that, I want to end. I hope you all a beautiful week. I hope you find comfort in all unexpected places. Take good care, guys. And thank you for joining me that I could talk about this. Bye-bye.